Want to talk?
Yeah.
1 2 1 2. Check the mic.
Check the mic. Check the mic. 1 2. MC Freddie Burns.
1 2. MC Freddie Burns. I feel too sad to do it. I thought it was just a bit of a pipe dream and just going to be a discussion.
New signing, Freddie Burns. Freddie Burns.
But I still felt like there was something left to come back and achieve. I watched a few of the highlights of Leicester games and I could see the way Steve set out his vision and the team that he was building there. I just knew that we were on the cusp of something great.
Been in the doldrums for so long, but they've given themselves a shot at European glory once again.
To have played for the club before, I knew how special it was. If I'm honest, I always probably saw it as a 2-year stint.
Oh, Miss Burns, the chip ahead.
That for me epitomises what this group's about. We fight and we don't give up. To have the season we had last season just cemented everything I wanted to come back for. Yeah, I remember being in my apartment in Japan and I was having a text conversation with my agent and just talking about what I wanted to do the next year. And I said I'd only come back to the Premiership if it was for Leicester. And he texted me back saying, well, Steve Borthwick wants to chat with you. So yeah, immediately I was excited. I thought it was just a bit of a pipe dream and just going to be a discussion. But having chats with Steve over Zoom, he laid out his vision and where he wanted to take the club. And I just wanted to hop on board and come back and finish what I started back in 2014.
As there was no Leicester.
Intercept. Burns is away. Try number 3. And the Champions Cup semi-finals.
It was a complete bolt from the blue. It was something that I wasn't expecting. One of those things over a beer with the brothers and that, it was always, it'd be great to go back to Leicester. I always spoke fondly of my time back at Leicester, even if it did finish in a manner that wasn't the best last time. It was a club that was very dear to me, that I had huge respect for. And I just loved every time I got to play at Matty Hollywood's Welford Road was just special. So to come back and know that I'd be representing the club again was just huge and massive excitement for me. I'd never won the Premiership. I was happy in Japan. I loved my time at Shoki. But I still felt like there was something left to come back and achieve and try and accomplish. And I watched a few of the highlights of Leicester games and I could see where the team was going and what Steve was starting to build. And when he layered that in with his vision, I immediately knew it was something that I wanted to be a part of. So, the team had gone through some hard times. I kept in touch with a few of the boys that were here from my first spell. And you just want to see Leicester back at the top. And to have that chance, and did I think that we'd go on and achieve what we did last year? Absolutely not. I thought I'd come back and it would be another step in the right direction, maybe start getting into that top 4 and really challenging and then pushing again. But to have the season we had last season just cemented everything I wanted to come back for. I think it's the supporters for me. I've been fortunate to play at clubs that are so well supported, Gloucester, Bath. I think the size of Welford Road and the fact that we sell it out or we get near to sell out pretty much every week, whether there's internationals on or not, the commitment from the supporters, the travelling support. I remember Clermont at Vernaway last year. The travelling support, all that is for me, it's unparalleled and unrivaled. And that's no disrespect to the other clubs that I've played at, but this place is just special. And they've always backed me. I've always felt a warmth and a love from the supporters. And I'm fully aware that players will come and go. The one constant that this club will always have is the fan base. So whether that's the young lads and girls that stand on the terrace and watch, in 20, 30 years they'll be stood on the terrace with their kids watching as well. So they're the one constant. So to play in front of that crowd, like I said, and to receive the warmth and love that I have from them for my first stint and the second stint has been unbelievable. So like I said, the main thing for me is even in the dark times, and there has been a few in both stints, I've always felt like they've had our back and they've had my back. Yeah, that's what Matty Hollywood's Welford Road means to me, really.
Freddie Burns played his part, an excellent afternoon from him, pulling the strings.
My return was unbelievable for me to be a part of it. The group of players we had, the bond we had, the challenges we had throughout the year. I wouldn't have wanted to be next to any other boys. To have played for the club before, I knew how special it was. To come back, if I'm honest, I always probably saw it as a 2-year stint to come back and just like give my all for 2 years and see where it got. So I didn't want to pass up any opportunity that I got to play for the club. And you know, so every time I got selected or I was involved or I had to come on and play, I just tried to cherish every moment, play with a smile on my face, enjoy it, but really want to deliver for my teammates and obviously the supporters as well.
Oh, missed pass, Burns is it? This was really good. That was brilliant hands from Burns.
To finish last year the way it did is something that I could only have dreamed of. And it's, you know, a memory that I'll cherish forever. So it massively lived up to it. Probably blew it away, if I'm honest.
Did it go forwards? There's the answer. And for the first time in 11 years in the Premiership, it is Leicester at the Rec. And in the end, Freddie Burns' try against his boyhood club, the moment that spurred Leicester to victory here for the first time in a long, long time.
When we won down at Bath, I think it was the first time in quite a number of years that we'd gone down there and won, so that was special. And even, you know, when we beat Bordeaux away, I wasn't actually involved in the game. I was at home watching it on the TV, and I could just see what a special group of players it was and the fight that we showed for each other to go down there and win the way we did. So.
And that is a Tigers penalty. That'll be enough for them. The celebration's already breaking out.
You know, we won a lot of games in the last couple of minutes last season, and I just loved the fight that we showed. And yeah, that Bordeaux game in particular really showed it to me. I genuinely love this group of players. I love the youth, the energy that young group bring. I love the experience and the boys we've added, even bringing guys like Chris Ashton in to a Tigers shirt, like adding those boys into the group. And it's very hard, you know. I'm one of these players that I'm very lucky not to fall into any real cliques. I like to bounce around, and you know, whether it's having a couple of beers with the young boys after a game or having a dinner with the senior boys, or you know, when I bumped into Lenny in Dubai and ended up being his drunk babysitter. I just generally love this group, and I just want nothing but the best for them. And that's the buy-in. I think there's a real actual love and desire to want to do well for each other. And that's something that makes this decision, you know, unbelievably hard. I think in my career, a lot of teams that I've played for, every team will sit there and they'll have sort of trigger words, and they'll have values or whatever you want to call them. And people just pay them lip service and don't really buy in. Steve spoke about the fight being non-negotiable. For me last year, seeing the fight that Kev put in for Rob Burrows, seeing the fight that Tommy Young's put in for Tiff, and seeing the fight that Tiff put in herself, it's just something that I think galvanised the group and inspired the group. And that for me epitomises what this group's about. We fight and we don't give up. And I mean, it showed in so many aspects last season. It's shown in this season as well. You know, we might not have quite won as many games at the death than we have in last year, but the fight is always there, and that's an unquestionable trait of this group, and it will set them in good stead for years to come.
It's on 30 seconds to go in the final.
You pulled his leg in.
Here it is. Burns to win it. It's the greatest moment in Freddie Burns' life.
To have that moment is something that I feel very fortunate for.
It is one of the greatest moments in Leicester history. Look at the faces. Look at the faces, still they need calm heads.
I've worked very hard. I've had my down days, so to get that moment was great. And I've always said that to be the guy that hit that drop goal, I'm obviously very happy. And the lads know that I'm not. I did a few podcasts afterwards, and I wasn't too shy about speaking about it. But for me, the real special moment in that is the supporters and the stories from the supporters. Afterwards I was stopped in doing my food shop, and people were telling me stories of where they were. I had tweets, messages on Instagram, all that sort of stuff of just, pictures of fathers with their sons and daughters at the stadium enjoying it. And, for me, that means more to me than anything. The actual action of the drop goal, of course, I'm proud of that, but the stories, the boys that I did it with, and the whole story around where we've come from as a squad to achieve that is something that I'll hold a lot closer than the actual action of hitting the drop goal itself.
But this team, this turnaround, these Tigers, champion Tigers.
Obviously, winning the Premiership is something I've dreamed of. When I came to Leicester last time, I thought that was my best chance of doing it, and I thought that chance had gone. And then to come back and do it for this club again, like I said, to be given the opportunity to represent this club, even if it was one more time, was all I wanted after I left last time. So to do it as many times as I did last year, and obviously to have that moment, it did feel very much full circle and a bit of closure. But that said, I wanted to kick on this year and keep contributing to the team, and not sort of sit up and think just because I had that moment that I'm done and dusted. But yeah, to have it, like I said, to do it for these supporters who stuck by me in that last time and really support me through what was a tough few months at the end, means the world. I feel like I need to apologise for leaving halfway through the season. It's been a whirlwind sort of probably 3 weeks. I had an offer to go down and play a season of Super Rugby with the Highlanders, obviously a very prestigious New Zealand franchise. It's a chance that I want to take now, just because I feel like at this stage in my career it won't come around again. So I leave with a very heavy heart, but I'll be giving my all until that last day. It's hard not to get emotional because this club means a lot to me, but I'll forever be bound to Leicester Tigers as a supporter and as a former player. And I can't wait to support the boys and see what they do for the remainder of this season and going on for the years to come. And yeah, I just want to thank the coaches, the players, the board for their understanding and allowing this to happen. And then last but not least for me is the supporters. It's been unbelievable. It's been a hell of a journey in a short space of time. And yeah, I can't wait to come back, stand in the crowd and have a beer with everyone. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you down the road sometime.